winning is fun, okay? And it's not easy. And you guys gave it all out there, okay? And I'll tell you this, none of you guys played the best game of the season tonight, okay? We have so much more room for improvement.
The Darko Rajakovic era in Toronto begins with a win. It wasn't always the prettiest, but the Raptors in their home opener showed against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves that they could win ugly by turning defense into offense and eventually that putting them over the top.
I hope that we're gonna have every night that we're gonna have elite defense. I think that we have elite defenders, and when we bring that kind of energy and juice, we're really good defensively. And for us, that creates opportunities in transition. I thought that tonight we could do a better job with a couple of situations of not turning the ball over. You know, I talked to Scottie at halftime that we need him to push, but also to be under control, you know. And we gotta continue trusting the pass, you know. It's easy to trust the pass if you're making shots, if everybody's playing great, it's easy to trust the pass. The trust the pass, trust togetherness is the one when things are not going our way. And how are we gonna stick together and stay together? And we did it enough tonight, and definitely we have a lot of room for improvement.
14 Timberwolves turnovers that turned into 34 fast break points for the Raptors. They put up a whopping 127.7 points per 100 possessions in transition, and they scored 25% of their total shots on the fast break. Darko's .5 offense was in full effect with the Raptors, dishing out 27 assists on 36 made shots, with Scottie, Pascal, and Dennis combining for 18 of those assists. Schroder himself had 20 points and 4 threes, and while he did handle the ball a lot, it was an offense by committee approach, with 4 players scoring 15 plus points and the Raptors getting 16 points off of the bench. Their half-court offense was still clunky, and in moments, especially in the clutch, they weren't able to really gain an advantage when the game slowed down. They put up 72 points per 100 possessions in the half court, which would be by far the worst in the NBA, but it didn't matter much because they also hit 40% of their threes. Ultimately, it was the transition game that helped the Raptors thrive in this one, and Coach Darko Rajakovic wants them to even play faster.
I liked it. I thought that we still needed to play faster, and what I mean by that is there were moments that we were coming past half court, and then we did not get into offense early enough and quickly enough.
Playing faster inevitably allows this team to do a number of different things, and ultimately it benefits a lot of the personnel. OG Anunoby tonight had 20 points and 4 threes because of these wide open above the break opportunities that he had because of how quickly they were playing and moving the ball. He also was an incredible defender tonight as the primary guy on Anthony Edwards, and he talked about how connected they stayed on that end.
I was a little too loose with him. He's a great player, but I was giving him too much space and just trying to make it more uncomfortable. It was pretty comfortable, and that's what great players do. When they're comfortable, they make shots. So just trying to make it difficult for him and just be physical with him and force him into difficult shots. You know, in practice, we go over the rotations a lot and we go through everything and the communication stuff. So for us to come out tonight, and it wasn't perfect, but for it to be like that, we're very happy and just gonna keep trying to improve as the year goes on.
Now, the defensive side of the ball was the main thing tonight. They turned defense into offense, and I think when you look at what this Raptors team has to do to win, that's their main identity.
I mean, that's what we got to do. That's got to be our identity. I think on the defensive end, you know, get stops, steals, rebounds, and then just try to play fast. I think, you know, with OG, Pascal Siakam, Barnes, Purdo running, I mean, that's great options, you know, on the transition offense, and I think that's what we got to do.
Now, they obviously have gotten off to a good start this season. A win is a win, but there are still tons of questions with this team. Chris Boucher didn't play tonight. Otto Porter Jr. didn't play tonight despite being healthy. And Grady Dick had a small stint in the first half, but we didn't really get to see him in an extended period of time as well. There still is tons of lineup questions, and the half-court offense is something that is going to continue to evolve. But the focal point of this Raptors season this year is going to be Scottie Barnes, and he has shown, especially tonight, tonight what he can do on the defensive end with 2 steals and a career-high 5 blocks. Now let's go to the film room to discuss what Scottie did on the defensive end and how he excelled.
All right, welcome to the film room aspect of this little recap that I'm doing every game, every season for the Toronto Raptors from now on. Tonight, in the home opener, I want to highlight or spotlight Scottie Barnes' defense, specifically as a weak side helper and help side defender. He has the length necessary to be absolutely disruptive on that end, especially as a weak side helper. His shot blocking ability, his ability to contest shots, all of that kind of came to fruition tonight in that home opener, and he used that length to get his career high 5 blocks. It was absolutely awesome. He excelled in that role, and ideally what his defensive future looks like is going to be maximized as this help side, weak side defender. Some of the best defenders in the NBA, some of the most recent defensive player of the years are guys who excel in that specific role. You think of Giannis Antetokounmpo, you think of Jaren Jackson Jr. In the past, guys like Kevin Durant, they've been able to essentially make their killing on defense of being these weak side helpers, guys who can use their length to really deter shots at the rim, to be these guys who can roam on the weak side so that they can feast off of those opportunities. He limited Karl Anthony Towns tonight, but he also did an incredible job of being this sort of backline help for the rest of the defense to rely on. Let's break down some of these plays. Okay, so on this play, Scottie is actually the primary defender on Karl Towns, but J-Max switches onto him, and Scottie actually stays with Towns and stays with the play and is able to get a really, really nice block. Now on this play, we see Scottie utilized a little bit more as a help side guy. He is roaming in the paint, waiting for that dump off pass. It gets to Gobert. He still is able to recover to Karl Towns, who's the cutter, and he gets a hand in there, just using his length to be disruptive, and obviously gets the block. He did a great job of using his length as a sort of buffer as well. On this transition play, he's able to sort of compensate for getting beat by Kyle Anderson because of his length, and it was a really, really great block as well. Now on this play, late in the game, we see Scottie Barnes fully actualized as an elite weak side defender. Watch how he pretty much anchors this entire defense right now. He tells J-Mac to stick to the corner so that he can be the guy that's in on the weak side, pretty much weak side rim protection here. As the empty side pick and roll kind of goes down, he's able to be there for Jakob Poeltl. And watch this block. I mean, the length is just so disruptive that it makes it so easy for this Raptors defense to swallow shots at the rim. And this right here was one of the biggest plays of the game. Pascal had just got blocked. It is a very, very close game, 3-point game, and Scottie Barnes in transition, again, weak side help, just completely erases a play. I think this is where Scottie is eventually maximized as a defender. He's going to be able to guard 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s this season. And while admittedly, I do like him guarding up more than I like him guarding down, it seems like from what Darko Rajakovic is saying, he's going to get a chance to play all different positions defensively.
It's extremely special, and he's going to be guarding point guards this year as well, and 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s. You know, we have that luxury to put him on biggest threats, and tonight one of those biggest threats was Karl Anthony Towns.
But ultimately, it was a good game, folks. It was an ugly one. It was one where the Raptors had to really grind things out. But I think that's the way this team is going to try to win a lot of games this year. They are going to try to hang their hat on their defense and then hope that their defense can help turn into offense. And honestly, that transition game that they showed today, 25% of their shots in transition. If they're like that every single game, they're going to be one of the best, if not the best transition offense in the entire NBA. They were 12th in offensive efficiency last year with one of the worst half-court offenses and one of the best transition offenses in the league. If they can replicate that and maybe amplify that by doing these type of things on defense, then honestly, I think this is the way that they want to win. Yes, they shot 40% from 3, which helped a lot. Yes, Schroder had 20 points and 4 threes, and OG had 20 points and 4 threes, but there are some areas where you can see this Raptors team performing even better. Pascal Siakam didn't have the most efficient night. The Timberwolves packed the paint, which made it a lot harder for him and Scottie Barnes to operate where they love to, which is at the rim. And I think ultimately Gary Trent Jr. didn't have a very good shooting night. If he's able to shoot the ball better, if Pascal and Scottie are able to get into the teeth of the defense more, then we'll see this half-court offense improve, and they'll still be able to operate as an elite defensive team and as an elite transition team. It was a really, really great start to the season, and it's made me hopeful for there to be just fun basketball. So, this is my first iteration of this type of video for SDPN. If you guys enjoyed, let me know in the comments, because I want to improve for you guys. I want to make it as good as possible so that you guys can enjoy this as well. Take care.